How did it not work?
Well, if you were in the armed forces, and you got a little letter that said, we're shipping you to Iraq next week, and you were going to be there for 2 years, and you thought, I don't want to go to Iraq, I will just go in and tell my commanding officer I'm a flaming gay guy.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, your commanding officer may not believe you. Remember, it has to be a credible statement.
Mm-hmm.
But even if he did believe you, as it turned out, during the height of the we need a lot of people in the military, they would do things like they would say, well, we understand you're gay, and we're going to commission a board to look into this. But as you know, you're going to be in a combat zone, and we can't do that in a combat zone. So we're going to do that after your return to the United States in 24 months.
So you could be gay in the military as long as you're shipped out, and they kind of need you there.
I don't think you're the first guy that thought, here's a quick way for me to get out of being shot at. I mean, they had Klinger on MASH. He was trying to be gay to get out of the Army.
That was before my time.
You didn't watch MASH?
No.
It was like the single most popular show in the 70s. Didn't they get MASH in Canada?
They did, but in the 70s. So I didn't watch MASH. I watched Fred Flintstone. That's how young I am.
Fred Flintstone's from the 60s.
Well, then reruns.
They'd reruns of MASH.
No.
You couldn't turn a TV on from 1978 today without catching an episode of MASH.
MASH did not carry the interest of an 8-year-old child.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. So, let's say someone was gay.
Okay. Let's call him John.
Now, some people believe gay people can be reprogrammed. I don't believe this myself. But
No.
there are people out there who think this.
There are people that don't think global warming is happening.
So let's say this John, the gay guy,
Climate change.
went to the military
Yes.
and said, I'm not gay.
Not gay.
And people found out, oh, look, you had all this gay activity back then.
Yeah, you
And
like
I
Sex and
say-
the City, for God's sakes.
And I said, well, that's back before I got reprogrammed.
Uh-huh.
Would that be a good argument?
I believe the policy was the predilection or intention to commit homosexual acts. So acts in the past wouldn't be an intention to commit them. It would have been a past committing of them.
So you could say
If they'd happened like the day before you joined the service, they might have questions. But I mean, again, the service wouldn't ask you. That was the don't ask part.
right. I'm thinking of previous to that policy.
Well, I think previous to that, who knows?
Is John McCain the only person against Don't Ask, Don't Tell? Repealing
No,
Don't
no,
Ask,
there
Don't
are
Tell?
quite a number of people
He seems to be the
who are
most
against
vocal.
repealing.
Whenever I watch The Daily Show, where I get all my news from,
Yeah,
it's always like clips of John
Yeah.
McCain going
yeah,
red in the face
yeah.
about Don't Ask, Don't Tell.
Epileptic.
All right. So, we have to take a break now
Okay.
for some station messages. When we come back, we're going to take your tweets, and then we're going to talk about something else. So, stay right there. Okay,
How do we know when we're out?
we have like 2
Isn't someone
minutes.
supposed to point at us? Oh, look, someone is pointing at us.
Jim will
He's just off over there in the dark.
Jim will give us a message.
These are great mugs. But again, why am I not on the mugs?
Because
It's just you.
John Wants Answers. If the show is called John Wants Answers from Keith, then you'd have an
Which I'll agree. I think it ought to be called. I ought to buy John Wants Answers from Keith.com and just redirect it to your site, except during the months when you have someone else on.
I'm getting warm. Do you think viewers? Do you think viewers at home would want to buy some John Wants Answers merchandise? I should move this mic before I take off my sweatshirt.
No, I don't think they do. I mean, maybe your wife will.
Don't take off the sweatshirt.
Don't I take off the sweatshirt?
Don't take off the mic.
Oh man.
The mic actually turned to face down.
I was going to show
During the show?
my new T-shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks just like the sweatshirt, except it's
It's
thinner.
T-shirty.
They're good. You know, I can drink water out of it.
The mugs? Yeah. They hold.
I was thinking I ought to bring Mai Tais, and I could drink a delicious beverage during the show.
Right on set.
Okay. And we're back. And we're going to take your tweets. Do we have any tweets, Keith?
I bet we don't have any tweets.
We probably should have checked this during the break.
We should have checked this during the break. Oh, look, my connection to Twitter failed.
Hey, I have a mess. I have tweets. We have tweets. We have a lot of tweets. Okay. Here is my question. Are you live yet?
Yes.
Yes, we are live. If you are live, here's my other question. Remember video 9?
No.
I think this guy's from my hometown in Trail or Fruitvale. And I think video 9 was like a video rental place.
Okay.
That's all I can say about video 9, I think. Some other guy, different person. Children behave chaotically.
They do.
That's not a question, it's just a comment.
Statement, but it's
on
true.
what's
It's
happening.
totally true.
So when does okay to ask, okay to tell functionally take effect? I think you
Probably late
mentioned it was
spring. Probably late spring.
Late? That's like
Well, because it's 60 days
months.
after they do it, and I bet it'll be Marchish before they finally finalize the rules. I mean, there's always the chance that the federal judge in Arizona will decide they're not moving fast enough and just reimpose the don't ask, don't tell doesn't apply anymore because it's unconstitutional.
sounds great. Our next topic, the tragedy in Tucson.
It was a tragedy.
It was tragedy.
I spent much of Saturday being very upset, and then much more of Monday being upset.
Saturday and
And
Monday?
Sunday. I was
Sunday?
upset Sunday too.
Okay. A lot of people were upset. It's very upsetting. So basically the tragedy is some guy
Yeah, some
walks up near a Safeway
Yeah.
to Gabrielle Giffords and
Congress
starts
in the corner.
Yeah, and starts shooting her and other people.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of people. Like
Yeah.
26 people. He
So-
probably shot, he might have shot at more than that. He may not have hit as many people
Right.
as he shot at.
So clearly, what we've learned so far, this guy is crazy.
Crazy. Like a loon crazy.
So even though I want answers, we probably
There's
aren't
no
going to
answer
get
here. Yeah.
answers.
Yeah,
No
we're not
answers
getting
now.
answers.
We're not getting answers, but we can talk about it a little bit here. So this person they've determined was trying to assassinate Gabrielle
It
Giffords.
seems reasonable to believe that he was there specifically to shoot her and probably specifically to kill her, and that's the definition of an assassination.
Right. And then after he shot her, he just kept on shooting,
He just kept shooting.
everyone.
Yeah.
So
He had like a magazine with 31 bullets in it. And he had another one that he was, trying to shove into his gun when someone took it away from him. So it could have been much worse.
right. So he's just a crazy guy. Jared Lee Loeffner
Yeah.
was
Loeffner.
he's called a suspect.
Yes.
Now, technically, he's a suspect until convicted in a court of law.
He's a suspect after that too.
When
I mean,
does
we suspect he did it.
when does he get a new word than suspect?
At conviction.
Yeah, we can call him the
Well,
guy
he
who
could,
did
he
it.
could confess. He could confess to doing it.
I mean, clearly the evidence is overwhelming. This is the
Very,
guy.
very strong evidence. Yes.
Right. So it seems we hate calling him a suspect because he's the guy. He's the guy.
Yeah.
And so, but there you go. So he's been charged with 5 federal counts.
Yes.
5 doesn't seem nearly enough.
Well, it's weird. So it took place in Arizona.
Right.
The state of Arizona could prosecute him for 5 murders.
Right. And then
Probably
some-
first-degree murders, what they call it,
and a bunch of assaults
and
or
a
attempted
bunch
murders,
of attempted murders, attempted homicides,
firing a weapon in public.
with a bunch of things.
Right.
That's the state. The federal government can only charge him with things that are federal crimes.
So it's a federal crime
So,
to shoot
It's a federal
a
crime to shoot a
congressperson.
member of Congress. It's
or
a
a
federal
judge.
crime to kill a judge it's a federal crime to attempt to kill essentially any officer or
Federal
employee of the
employee.
government if they're doing their job as a federal
Oh.
officer or employee.
If they were off duty, it wouldn't be a federal crime.
The congressperson is always doing their job,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
They're a congressperson, wherever they are, they're being a congressperson. The judge, they still don't know whether he was there on official business or on a social call.
So that could
If the
actually
judge
change
was
the
there on
charge?
official business, it's a federal crime. If not, it's not a federal crime to have killed him. Now, it's still a state crime.
Right. Wow. That seems a little messed up. What's the difference between, let's say you get convicted of a federal crime? Is that worse
I
or
don't think
better
there's
than
really much
a state
difference.
crime?
Federal prisons are supposed to be worse than state prisons. But this guy's probably going to get the death penalty either way. And I think federal death chambers pretty much kill people as effectively as state death chambers.
Now, this guy, as we said before, clearly crazy.
Clearly crazy.
Could he get acquitted on the bounds of being
could.
crazy?
Well, I don't know if he gets acquitted. He could get convicted of the crime, but it could be set aside because when it's like Hinckley, who shot President Reagan, I believe was convicted of shooting President Reagan, but the sentence was, we have to go try to cure you because you're a crazy person.
So this guy could be sent off to be cured instead of seeing the death penalty.
It's possible.
So that would not really be justice in many people's minds. Nobody knows his motivations, right? He's not talking.
Well, not that we know of.
We kind of know
he might be. Reportedly, he very quickly said, "I don't want to say anything without an attorney being present, not an attorney being present," and the cops pretty much have to stop asking you questions at that point.
Right.
He had an attorney assigned to him, I think, on Tuesday. He probably has talked to his attorney, who knows how fruitful that's been. I don't think any of that has been disclosed. Certainly his conversations with his attorney couldn't be because they're privileged.
Now, you know someone who was
I do.
shot.
Someone I worked with at Apple 15 years ago was one of the 26 people that was injured. Shot like 3 times and has shrapnel in her still. That's why I was all freaked out on Monday when I found that out.
Right.
Because normally I was like, this is a tragedy that happened to people I don't know. And then Monday it became a tragedy and a tragedy for people that I do know. And so it really freaked me out.
How is this person doing?
She's apparently okay. I saw her on TV last night.
Yeah, she's on the CNN.
Voice was exactly like I remember. But now she looks old. Or at least kind of older. And I'm like, well, I'm glad I haven't aged at all in the last 15 years.
All right, we only have like a minute left. The gun that was used was one of those guns that used to be banned before.
The gun was banned.
Wasn't there like a ban on semi-automatic weapons before? Or am I mistaken?
Yes, well, up until 1990 or up until 2004, there was a ban on high-capacity magazines.
Right.
But that expired. I think before that ban, he couldn't have bought a high-capacity magazine. You couldn't make them, and you couldn't sell ones that had been made after that date.
Who needs these
So he
kind
would
of
have only been
magazines?
able to have 10 bullets in his gun at a time.
Who needs magazines these days for defense? Well, that's our show, clearly. We're getting to the sound. So,
Is that what that sound means?
our next show will be February 10th, and we hope to see you here. It'll be live again. I want to thank my crew. We had Bill Snow on audio, Tom Clark, technical director Loretta Beavers. Camera was Daxiadeus, and Jim True, and Patty O'Lockdown. Rocky Austin on the deco. Jim True is also floor director, and Josh Young was our engineer.
Look, there's their names. Patty Lockdown.
Bill Snow.
Bill Snow.
Tom Clark.
Tom Clark.
Rocky Austin.
Are we supposed to be doing something else
Josh
now?
Young. Just be, bantering.
We're bantering.
Yeah.
News theme by Timothy Drury.
Remember that guy?
Yeah,
he's on the show. Yeah,
he's great. Yeah. It's like I've met famous people.
Thanks to my show.
Yeah.
I'm the gateway to famous people.
To famous people.